following information is taken from the family's GoFundMe page, which is set up as a way to collect donations for a reward in hopes that little Nicky Rule will be returned. On Easter Sunday, around 3:45 p.m., sweet 4-year-old Nicky Rule was taken from his grandmother's home as he was sleeping on the couch. The grandmother, Tally Adams, has had custody of Nicky and his older brother for the last 3 years, since their mother dropped them off and abandoned them. His paternal grandmother was also there visiting for Easter, and she was at the home with Nicky and his brother, while Tally, the maternal grandmother, had gone out to run errands. They busted into the home, grabbed Nicky, attacked the paternal grandmother, and ran out the door to the car. While they were running to the car with Nicky, they tripped, and precious Nicky was dropped and fell on his head. Unlikely that the abductors would be seeking any medical treatment for him. They did assault the paternal grandmother, as I said. Her name is Jo Lucia Rule, and she was visiting from out of town. They assaulted her while she was attempting to stop them from taking Nicky. They say that Nicky was abducted by a estranged and mental unstable family, and it's thought that they were headed to Florida. He does not know those people. He has not been with his mother in 3 years, and he's only 4 years old. It's believed that this abduction had been planned for many months, and that Tally's house had been cased. 2 minutes after Tally pulled out of the driveway, these people swooped in, barged open the door, and grabbed Nicky off the couch while he slept in the same room with family. As of now, there is no Amber Alert, unfortunately, and Tally explains it this way. 3 years ago, Nicky and Alec, Nicky's older brother, were abandoned by their mother in horrible condition, most likely due to mental illness and drug abuse. Tally has cared for the babies for 3 years and filed for guardianship back in October of 2019. However, when COVID happened, the court systems came to a halt. Through delays by her legal representation, the final paperwork is not complete. Therefore, legal guardianship had not been established, so an Amber Alert could not be issued. The police detective told her that it's very hard to get an Amber Alert issued, as most of us know. Tally does not believe that the birth mother, Robin Adams, wants her children. She believes that Robin has been coerced by her half-aunt, Toni Marriott. Toni is the half-sister to the maternal grandmother, Tally. The birth mother, Robin, does suffer from mental illness and possibly some developmental delays, and she is not capable of taking care of her children. However, the half-sister to Tally, Toni Marriott, is also not any more capable of taking care of Nicky, and she lives her life as a career criminal as well as a meth addict. Both are transients. There was a vehicle involved in the abduction, and that is a black GMC Envoy with Florida license plate XD5JH. There was also a male with facial hair in the car. At this point, they are not certain if he was black or white male. However, Tally does have reason to believe she knows who that person is. She believes that they may be in the company of a 60-year-old African-American male named William Bill Fisher. And it's thought that they may be on their way to Florida or to California. It's asked if you do spot any of these people to please contact law enforcement, as although they have not put out anything for abduction or an Amber Alert, Toni and William both have active warrants for their arrests, and it is the hope of Tally that once these two are taken into custody, that her daughter, Robin, will surrender Nicky back over to the grandmother. Grandma describes Nicky Rule, as a little boy who loves to fist bump and who has never met a stranger. She says that he tells everyone he sees, "Hi, I'm Nicky." He seems like an absolutely precious little boy who has been in a wonderful, loving home, and he needs to be returned to that loving home. Now, his biological father is involved with him on a certain level, and the father's parents are also involved, and it is the biological father's mother who was attacked the day that these two women abducted Nicky from the home. A family friend did start a GoFundMe to ask for donations to use towards reward money for the safe return of Nicky. They're hoping that the reward money will elicit more exposure to get Nicky's face out there and generate more leads. Nicky's family, as you can imagine, is absolutely devastated, and it's so important to keep their hopes up and stay in the mindset of actively searching for Nicky. They have been reaching out to media outlets with the help of Facebook and other social warriors, but so far this case has not gotten any attention whatsoever, and it's our job, YouTube sleuths. Let's spread the word and let's bring Nicky home to his grandmother where he obviously belongs. Now, I did find an interview that Arctic Fox has done with both of the grandmothers, so I'm going to play that, portions of that for you here to follow, and I hope that Arctic Fox does not mind me resharing this, and but please do go give him a like, a subscribe, and a thumbs up on the video, as it was the first one that I came across that provided any solid information straight from the family members. And Arctic Fox, we truly appreciate you. I am going to stay on top of this. I hope to speak with the grandmothers myself and bring more information as soon as we get it. Everybody, please pray for both grandmothers and that Nicky is brought home safely and quickly.
Her name's Tally, and I'm going to bring her on and let her tell the story. So just bear with me here. Yeah.
This is Tally.
Hey, Tally. This is Arctic Fox True Crime. How are you doing this evening?
I've definitely had better days.
Well, I understand that. I've kind of gone over a little bit of what happened, how he got snagged off the couch on Easter Sunday. You'd been out running an errand and everything. The other grandmother was in the other room, and then she did try to stop the kidnappers and everything. She ended up getting hurt herself in the process.
Absolutely. She was in the same room. It's an open floor plan, a large area. They burst through the door, and she hesitated a moment, not really sure what was happening. And when they grabbed Nicky, she came running like a banshee and tried everything she could to get a hold of him.
I know. I mean, I was talking to her earlier, and she's blaming herself, and I was like, well, you can't blame yourself. You did everything you could to try to stop it.
No, absolutely. She's got bruising to her left arm and her right rib cage. That woman did every possible thing she could to try to save Nicky.
Well, we're
fleeing out. They dropped him.
I know.
First onto the cement.
Yeah, she told me she was worried that he broke his neck because of the angle he hit at and everything. And it's what concerns me is abductors aren't likely to get him checked out if he did get hurt or injured, because they don't want to get caught. That's the bottom line, especially from what we know about these two, a bunch of methed out schizophrenics. But
yes, and I have spoken today with a psychologist. We've got some new information, and we recently found out that Tony, who is truly the driving force behind this, had developed a plan, and as far as we can tell, it goes all the way back to September.
Okay, so which
And
one?
at that point,
I know that
Tony is the aunt.
The step great aunt, I guess is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she is my half sister.
All right.
Robin is actually Nicky's mother.
Yeah, and you were working to get full custody, but then COVID happened and the paperwork got delayed and everything, and now they're not even letting you file an Amber Alert on Nikki.
Right. So, and the biggest thing is we got delayed early on in his custody case because Robin's transient. So we were trying to track her down to even get her served his paperwork. And at this point, we had to try to do a notice by publication, but you have to get a judge's approval before that can even happen. And that's where we got hung up on COVID.
Yeah.
Because the courts shut down.
Well, if you don't mind, just kind of fill us in on the background of how you came to have custody of Nikki and all of that. And one of my viewers wants to know, do we know what Nikki's favorite color is?
Nikki's favorite color is blue or green.
Blue or green.
Or anything. Oh, no, he has three. It's the 3 PJ Masks colors. Everything he has to be in the 3 PJ Masks colors. So 1 pink, 1 blue, and 1 green.
All right. Well, and I hear
the biggest risk here is not Robin. Robin is their biological mother. Robin is so mentally fragile herself that she is being used as an absolute human puppet just to shield Tony to get what she wanted, which is Nicky.
Now, she was
recently found out this obsession goes back over a year, and it is a true obsession that Tony developed with Nicky.
Wow. Now,
like
Robin,
an honest to God obsession.
Now, Robin was diagnosed as a schizophrenic herself, wasn't she?
Yes.
Okay. And I understand that
Tony does not have any formal diagnoses. She's refused for years to go get any mental health help.
Now, are drugs an issue with both of them, or is it just Robin, or is it just Tony?
Well, we know during our interviewing, we learned that Tony's on meth. She has a very, very long drug history. We were able to confirm that she started using meth at least back in September. Now, Robin, we know is at least on marijuana, which I know, a lot of people don't look at as a drug. But whenever you've already got some psych diagnoses going on, anything that alters the chemistry in the brain is going to exacerbate that situation. And that does include marijuana.
Absolutely. But
now we know that Robin does have a history of solicitation, as we learned during our interview process. She's very well known in Brevard County, Florida, for solicitation. What we've recently learned is Tony's fixation on Nicky is terrifying, and she is spiraling so far out of reality. And the police are treating this like this is a custody battle. This is not a custody battle. This is a race for this child's life.
Exactly. I mean,
if something happens and triggers Tony, she has a very long violence history. She has a rap sheet the size of a Bible. That woman is absolutely terrifying. And he is 4 years old, and he is completely helpless.
I know. Have the police issued a BOLO or any type of endangered alert or anything like that?
They did that the first day. They issued a BOLO on I-10 when we thought they would be headed back to Florida, which is where they came from. So we live in Texas, and these people drove from Florida directly to Texas.
With the beginning, so you can explain to them how you came to have custody of Nicky and what, just all the way through to why it's such a battle, because we had a lot of people come in late, why you don't have the official custody and all of that.
Okay, so the beginning, when I first got the babies, so Robin, I had no idea where Robin was for years. She had just vanished off the face of the planet. When the babies came into my care, Robin abandoned them, and they were in unbelievable condition when I got them. So CPS, was involved with the case immediately, and unfortunately, our system when it comes to children is broken. CPS decided not to pursue criminal charges of child neglect because Robin had fled the state, and CPS then determined that the children were no longer in immediate danger because they were with me. So they had never had immunizations. They were malnourished. Nicky was so dehydrated, he was having seizures. His blood work from the hospital came back and showed that his kidneys were struggling.
Wow.
They had to be treated for scabies and rickets.
Oh, God.
They had never been given milk, so the top of their heads had never turned to bone.
Oh, my God.
Nicky's hair was falling out in tufts in the front of his head. And you can see in the pictures when I first got him, there's an obvious ridge where the skull switches from bone to just a giant soft spot on his head.
Wow.
Nicky made it through, and he made a full recovery. His brother Alec was not as lucky. Alec is fine physically today. He's physically recovered, but he was left with some developmental delay, and he is nonverbal autistic.
Wow.
We didn't hear from Robin again, ever. She was just gone again. Now the baby's father and his family have, they contacted me. I contacted his their paternal grandmother when I got them, and we together kind of formulated a plan on how we can all still be in their lives and get them what they needed. And their father and his mother come down every few months to spend time with them and are active in their lives. Robin, on the other hand, we've literally never heard one word from, not a phone call.
So has the father not expressed an interest in trying to get custody of him?
We have talked about it when this all began, and really he's young and he's struggling himself, and he has some of his own issues, and we determined, and he agreed that the babies would do much better with me than he could give them.
Hold on. Margaret's calling. I'm going to merge the two of you together. Hold on a second.
Okay.
All right. Are you both here now? Hello?
Hi, this is General Nicky's paternal grandma.
All right. I've got Tally on too. So, Tally, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So Tally was just telling us how she came to have custody and everything. I'm going to go ahead and sit back and let her continue her story. And if you've got anything to add to what Tally says, go ahead and jump in, okay?
Okay.
So anyway, so as one of the first things that I did when I got the babies was take them to the pediatrician so that all of their the full evaluation could be done, and I wanted to make sure that their weights and everything were documented so we could make sure that they started moving in the right direction. And then we just continued on. And Alex, we got him into early childhood intervention, and Nicky just started packing on weight and just flourished. And he is the sweetest little boy that you will ever meet, and he's my heart. And we started the proceeding for custody, but when you are trying to locate a transient to have them served papers for custody, it's nearly impossible. They're transients.
Yeah.
So we ended up having to do a petition for public notification to serve in the stead of actually having her served. But when you're doing that, you have to get a judge's permission before you can even do that. So that got hung up during the the COVID situation shut down our court system, and we hadn't been able to get the judge to sign off so we could move forward. Now, what we did not realize in the meantime was that Tony Marriott, who is my half-sister, had become so obsessed with becoming a mother that she had zoned in on Nicky. To the point, early on when she wanted to be, a part of our family, it was wonderful. It was normal. It was healthy. And then she started to get weird. And then she started to get really weird. She had him for an overnight visit, and I got a phone call that she had been arrested for DUI, and Nicky had been in the vehicle.
Wow.
So she was charged with child endangerment and DUI in Harris County, or Harris or Galveston County. And when she bonded out, she arrived at my door and demanded that I give him to her. And just kept saying he was always supposed to be mine. He's mine by karma. And I explained to her, Tony, you need to leave. Just get away from me. Get away from my family. I did not know that at that point she went and found Robin and started hatching this plan to come back for him. So now she's using Robin, who is their biological mother, as a human shield.
Wow.
To keep us from being able to get Nicky taken seriously. The police department is treating this like it's a child custody matter. This is not a custody matter. If Nicky stops fulfilling Tony's dream of being a mother and stops acting the way she wants him to, Tony is violent. She has a very long rap sheet that will show every kind of violence there is, which we did not know until the night that she was arrested, and the arresting officer asked me, "Did you know that she has this history?" And I said, I knew she'd gotten in trouble for some kind of a fraud years ago, but that was all I was aware of.
Yeah. Now,
that's the woman who is now in possession of this little boy.
Yeah.
So for the police to act like this is a custody matter is absurd.
So they're not even wanting to file an endangered child alert or anything like that.
Right, exactly. They won't give us an Amber Alert. And since Robin herself does not have a recent history of violence, they pulled the endangered status off of him and essentially told us we're on our own to find him.
Wow, that is absolutely batshit crazy. Excuse my language, but I mean,
they're not returning any of my phone calls.
Right.
Wow. So what about this detective that I've got the number for? I've got his number scrolling across the bottom of the screen. This Kerry Fullen, is he still working the case?
I spoke with him today, and he claims that he is still working the case, but essentially there's nothing that he can really do.
Okay. Does Nicky take any medications that he has to have on a daily basis? Does he have any health issues?
No.
Okay.
No, Nicky does not have any health issues. He is perfectly healthy. He is just a vivacious, smiling little guy. And every single adult that he sees when he's out, he will wave and smile and say, "Hi, I'm Nicky."
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got over 1,000 subscribers to my channel alone, not counting the other creators that are in this chat tonight. We are going to be the Amber Alert for Nicky. We're going to get his face all over social media. And I hear he's quite the vivacious. Well, I can't say that I could put myself in your shoes. I can only imagine what you're going through to have your basically, for all intents and purposes, your child snatched up on Easter Sunday of all days. And his birthday was just the day before that, wasn't it?
The day before, yes, he had his nice fourth birthday party.
Wow. Can you do me a favor? Can you get me some more pictures of Nicky so that we can try to get a couple of short videos put together, different pictures of him? Because one picture is great, but if we have several pictures to show him, that it really does help people to notice
absolutely.
him. Okay.
So what Joe and I have, we've taken to Facebook, and the outpouring of support that we have gotten on Facebook has been overwhelming.
Well, I had just happened.
The police and the justice system are failing, Nikki. The community is not.
Well, I had happened to come across a post in one of the missing persons groups that I help moderate. And when I saw that post, I was like, I have to get this boy's story out. And so that's why I reached out to both of the grandmothers. I wanted to do the video, and I did the video. I sent you a copy of it. And then I really honestly wanted to see if we could. I'm glad that y'all did the interview tonight, because hearing the anguish and stuff in y'all's voices, that really paints the picture of how much danger Nicky is in for the audience and everything. And I can't.
Anybody has seen what those two women looked like when they came in through that door? The one in the front, who I didn't realize at the time was Tony, was just, she looked like she was on drugs. Just not, she was disheveled looking, not neat or anything. And then the one behind her, which I didn't recognize as being Robin until I was outside by the car trying, after being kind of battered around by him. And she turned and looked at me, and I realized, I said, Robin, I said, what are you doing? I said, stop this, give Nicky back. And she just shoved me.
Wow.
She never had any expression whatsoever on her face, completely that affect.
And then they dropped Nicky on his head on the concrete.
Yes. That to me more than anything. I mean, first when they snatched him up off the couch, when Tony snatched him up, that of course my heart stopped, and I felt like I was running through quicksand trying to get to them.
Yeah, and we need pictures of the two women.
I couldn't fight hard enough, and I just couldn't get them back.
Well, I mean, if they're on drugs, they're going to overpower you. People on meth have superhuman strength.
You did everything you could. Don't you care about yourself?
She's right. I mean, you did everything you possibly could. Can I get pictures of the two suspects also sent to me by any chance?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And what about in the original post that I was reading, it said something about an older African-American man. How does he play into all of this?
So someone was driving the getaway car. Joe said she had seen a thin white male with facial hair was driving the getaway car. Another eyewitness, though, had seen Tony skulking around backyards in our neighborhood and said she had gotten into a car that was driven by an African-American man. Tony is known to have a long-term live-in boyfriend who is a 60-year-old African-American man named William Fisher.
Okay.
And he is also the one that vehicle is registered to.
Wow. Yeah, Brock.
And they had taken the tags off the car when I saw it, because I had at least like I was thinking, like I've got to remember this. I've got to remember what the car is. I've got to get the tag number.
Yeah.
And I looked, and there was no tag. It was completely blank. But someone on the street, when the police canvassed the street, had taken a picture of the car earlier because they had seen it and thought they were acting suspicious, and that's how we got the tag number. But the picture they took of the vehicle with the tag was the exact vehicle that I had seen.
Wow.
Wasn't that just absolutely heartbreaking? As a grandmother, I can't even begin to imagine what they're going through. Again, Nicky Rule is 4 years old, brown hair, brown eyes, about 3 foot 4 inches high, and he weighs about 40 pounds. He was abducted on April 17th, 2022 from League City, Texas. It's believed that he is in the company of his estranged mother, Robin Adams, and his great aunt, Tony Marriott. They may also be in the company of a 60-year-old black male, William Bill Fisher. It's possible that they may be on their way to Florida or California. They do believe that Nicky's life is in danger and ask that any sightings please call 911 or contact the League City Police Department. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Please give this video a like and comment below if you have any questions. And please remember to go like Arctic Fox and subscribe to him. You guys have a great day.